Hi, welcome back. It's Jean. Thank you so much for tuning in. If it's your first time here, please stay tuned at the end of the video and I'll tell you where else you can find me. And today's topic is, are you really listening? This is a problem that I notice that a lot of us have, and sometimes I struggle with it too. So it's another thing that I'm working on myself. And it is when you're in a relationship, friendship, coworker, interaction with other people, are you really listening and taking in what it is they're trying to tell you? A lot of us tend to think that we are right on what we think we know, and there is no challenge to it. And a lot of times, even though we've done a lot of study research, we know it from experiences, things change. Maybe somebody knows something different than you do. Maybe they've experienced something that you have. And when you're talking on a particular subject that you're well versed in, it's always good to learn more, take in feedback, and try to get a different perspective on it, because we all see things differently regardless of what it is. That's one thing. Another thing is, when someone's talking to you, are you really, really listening? Are you just waiting for them to stop, or are you formulating what you're going to say back to them, or are you taking in the conversation and really thinking about what their words are to you? Are you validating their perspective? Are they validating your perspective? Are you having a give and take conversation? Are you going back and forth? Are you contributing equally to the conversation? If not, the other person will know it and they'll feel like it. Then they'll lose respect for you and attention to you, and then not necessarily really want to continue conversations with you. And that's something that we as people have a problem with, especially in our close relationships. We always have this I'm right and I know kind of thing going on in our mind, maybe not consciously, but maybe subconsciously. And we are thinking of what we're going to respond. But like, take a moment and absorb in the back and forth and be patient. Don't react emotionally all the time. Or if it's something that may upset you, realize that this other person might be crossing their own boundaries to tell you what their perspective and feelings are, and they're afraid, and they might be concerned about what your opinion is. They might be worried about what you think about it, and they're really trying very hard to be open with you. So respect the emotion and their perspective on it, and try to listen kind of unbiasedly so that you don't react in a negative way. And then, I'm not saying let people run you over, and don't defend yourself if it's a negative or aggressive situation. I'm just saying, try to respect what it took for them to give you this information, their emotion, their experience, because I try to have a back and forth conversation with people sometimes, and I work very hard on not being so closed in my personal feelings in a position, because I don't want to cause conflict or argument or stress. So it takes a lot for me to divulge my innermost emotions and thoughts and feelings and perspective and on a lot of topics, and it's something I have to work on, because I'm worried and I fear the repercussions or the emotional blowback from the conversation that I'm trying to have. And I am doing this, and it's a struggle to overcome, and sometimes that person reacts negatively to me, and they react emotionally, or they're thinking of what they're going to say next, and they're not listening, really, really listening and thinking about and appreciating what I'm trying to do and the struggle and the point I'm trying to make. So that makes me frustrated. Then it makes me defensive. Then it makes me angry, because I feel like I'm talking to a wall that doesn't care. So think about it. Especially if you know that you and your significant other, child, teenager, coworker, friend, whatever, is always fussing. If you guys are always arguing, sit down and have a conversation, open-ended, and try to be neutral and unbiased and appreciate each other's emotions and feelings and perspective and experiences. Okay, I'm not hugely knowledge on automotive, but there are some things that I know from experience that I've seen in my own eyes. And I'll be talking to someone that's pretty much a lifelong mechanic, but there's things that he hasn't seen that I have. I don't know anything he knows, basically, but I know that I've seen a particular whatever that he's not experienced before. And this is a good, example. And he'll get upset because he thinks there's no way possible this has existed. It hasn't happened. Blah, 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 because of his experience. Okay? And you see what I'm saying? His knowledge thus far would say that this particular thing that I've seen and I've experienced is impossible because it hasn't existed yet and he hasn't seen it. And he's like, oh, automatically that's not true, blah, blah, blah. But, I'm not trying to start an argument. I'm just saying, oh, I've seen that. It's really awesome. Another thing is, there's something called a life vest now that shocks people with heart issues. And it's come a long way in the way it is now. But before, because I'd been in the medical field for so long and I keep updated on it and I read and, I always want to make sure that I'm current. I didn't know that existed. And it's like 2 or 3 or 4 models into it already. And I was like, my instant reaction is, no, there's no such thing. I have never seen that before, which is a normal human reaction. But I stepped back in my own mind because I didn't say that because I'm trying to work on it like I'm trying to teach you and call your attention to it. And I said, well, just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I want to learn more. Ask questions, research it. Okay? And if it's something you think you know and they're wrong in that conversation, pick your battles. Peace and tranquility and fluidity in your relationship is more important than being right. Because the stupid things that we fight about, honestly, in a week, in 2 months, in a year, in 5 years, is it really going to make a difference? Are we going to remember? Is it really that significant and life-changing? Is someone going to get injured or die if they don't see it or know it the way you know it? No. So, are you really listening? And if you are, be open to learn and accept new and different things and experiences from another person's perspective. I hope this helps and you learned something from me. I care about you. I'm thinking about you. I'm sending my love and warm energy to you. Please follow me, find me, like me, and share me so I can reach out and touch everyone in the world. Not in that kind of way. If you're thinking that way, you're dirty, and I like that, but not that kind of way. And I just want to help improve each other's lives as much as possible. I love experiencing and learning new things from everyone. You can find me in my group at Ask Jean. It's facebook.com/groups groups with an S /Ask Jean. It's titled Ask Gypsy Jean, I believe, on the actual page. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Jean's Pet Rock. JeansPetrock. Jeans with an S, JeansPet Pet Rock, ROCK. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic morning, night, afternoon, or day. Bye.